guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Yes, welcome in to the most innovative and potentially stupid segment in all of sports media, where we put percentages and statistics next to our predictions. It's called Write That Down with Mackie and Judd. We have a football version every week on Purple Daily. And these predictions and this accountability session, gentlemen, with Judd, by the way, Judd live at Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center, old Macadac in the Denver area for the Podcast Movement Conference. And Declan and his dog Vinny just in Declan's home office today. So we're coming at you globally here today on Mackie and Judd. The wonders of modern technology. But a shout out to our friends. It's tailgating season, gentlemen. And Frattallone's is one of the largest Weber dealers in the state. They're here to help you kick off tailgating season with a brand new Weber grill. In fact, on the YouTube channel, you can see some of these bad boys. Think about all the steak, the wings, the ribs, the bratwurst, the burgers, the kebabs. You can, wow, that's a noise right there. Tons of choices. Even if you're into other types of grills, Frattallone's has you covered for tailgating season. Go to SKORNorth.com and enter the keyword Weber to find out more about their amazing Weber grills, or stop into one of the 20-plus Frattallone's hardware and garden stores in and around the Twin Cities. Are you guys ready to be held accountable?
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. All right. Let's. So here's the rules, by the way. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, we got our guy Nate in the virtual green room. You can send a note to Declan through the SKOR North app, and he can get you scheduled. All right, Jub, we'll start with you. This one, I left this on the board in case it happened like mid-season or something, but I think we can take this off.
Yeah.
You said Derek Shelton will be on the Twins coaching staff in 2023.
Shelty.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen at this point.
Just signed an extension, actually, a few months ago.
There you go. I said that you guys told me this would be a home run if it hit, that Royce Lewis would have a 3-hit game at some point in the last week. And he did it, I think, last Wednesday. He did it right away. He had a 3-hit game.
He did.
So there it is. A little, not like a 500-foot home run, but a little flower bed clearing home run for me.
Solid knock.
Okay.
Yankee Stadium right field.
Yeah, in the wind tunnel.
Yeah, I just went over.
Jake predicted via the listeners here that Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton would combine for at least 25 home runs this year. It's a really low bar, and they did clear it despite Byron Buxton being injured again and Correa having the worst season of his career. They did somehow clear the low bar, so congrats. And then Declan, I don't think you had anything come off the board. You did have a Judd prediction, but you didn't, in the database, you didn't put an end date on remember the prediction you made? I think you said like 2 weeks, but I wasn't sure.
I think I said within a week. So you can likely I'll go back and listen, but I'm like 90% sure I said it would be within a week.
We'll
so
check.
It's probably
we'll
wrong.
Investigate. Okay. Yep. We'll investigate for next week.
It was a Judd prediction. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to tip Judd off here, but it was related to Judd's Twitter account. So we can just go and kind of track and see.
Okay.
Or his X account, I guess.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay. My X-rated tweets.
So with that, Judd, this is like the year that Carl Yastrzemski was the only 300 hitter in the league, right? Yeah.
They had to lower the mound.
So you're batting 303, Declan at 286. This used to be a 100-point batting average lead for Judd. It's now down to, 17 points? And then the listeners at 261. I'm at 206, so back on the rise. I was at 190 at one point. Judd leading with 6 home runs to my 5. Declan 4. The listeners with 2 home runs. All-time, Declan with a 370 batting average. Judd with 281 hits leads that category. And the listeners with 44 career home runs. But they haven't had one in quite some time. Maybe that changes today with Nate. So there you go, boys. There's your accountability session here. Let's see if we got our guy Nate, our guest listener predictor. Nate, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Welcome in, sir. When did you become a Minnesota sports fan? Give us your background.
Oh, yeah, sure. I've been a Minnesota sports fan my entire life. All Minnesota sports, live and die by them. So I was, so it's all the way back to as long as I can remember. I'm kind of between your age and Judd's age, so I'm kind of right there in the middle. And even I haven't even lived in Minnesota.
I think we might be losing Nate.
Did you got me back now?
All right, we're back. Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Sorry. So I haven't even lived in Minnesota since 2009, but I've followed you guys. I've been kind of a super fan of both of you, even before you guys were on the same show together. I've lived in a lot of different cities. I'm I kind of feel like I'm sort of like the Forrest Gump of like a sports in Minnesota sports. I'm kind of on the periphery of things, but never any of my own doing really. So I moved to Boston in 2004, and of course the Red Sox won the World Series then. So then I then moved. I was then living in Austin, Texas, and then Dallas, and then the Rangers went to the World Series. They didn't win it. Then I moved to Chicago in 2015, and of course the Cubs won the World Series for the first time in a long time in 2016. But now since April, I've been living in Mexico City. So coming to you from Mexico City now.
Wow. So Mexico's going to win the world. They're going to win the World Cup next time around.
Maybe, but I listen to you guys all the time. Your podcast all the time. That's how I keep up with Minnesota sports. Is all through you guys. So
I think our listeners are like, can you just move to Minnesota for 1 year so maybe Minnesota can win a championship? That's what we need Nate to do.
Yes, I know. And unfortunately, I'm kind of poisoned as well, because I believe the last time the Vikings were in a Super Bowl was 1977. I think it was January of 1977. I was born in December of 1977, so I might be the curse. I don't know.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
wow. And by the way, that shirt is fantastic.
Thanks. I knew you would appreciate
Company,
this.
Jack Tripper. That is absolutely fantastic. The Regal Beagle.
Yes. I knew you would like it, Judd.
I do.
Don't know if the other two get the reference.
I don't get the Regal Beagle reference, but I did watch Three's Company on Nick at Night from time to time.
Phil would like it though. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the seedy nightclub that Jack and his friends went to, which is just, and it's the greatest name of all time.
It's weird. So the whole premise of that show was Jack living with two women, and then the women changed out at one point.
And
Suzanne Summers left the show and then
pretended to be gay so that Mr.
Roper
would allow him to live, to cohabitate. But yes, then Suzanne Summers ran into a contract problem, and so she left, and like her cousin or something came in. Yes, it was very confusing.
Yeah, what a premise. And all right, let's get some predictions here. We'll start with Nate, and we'll go around the room 3 different times. So Nate, what is your first prediction, sir?
Yeah, so this first one, I'll parlay this. So I've got my predictions have got some different teams. So I've got kind of 2 for the Vikings. I'll parlay them together here. So I'll get the first one out of the way here, because it is kind of a more of a negative take, I would say. Just on my view, I've kind of been down on this guy since April, and I feel like he's kind of done nothing since then to improve my viewpoint on him. But I just don't have very high hopes for Jordan Addison. So I just don't know if his size is, and he's already kind of had some problems like being able to stay on the field already without even having taken a snap. Not to mention some off the field issues as well that could be some warning signs. So, but on the other hand, I am actually much more positive on Brian Flores. I really like him a lot. I think he will help improve the defense. And researching this, I actually didn't realize this. I'm not sure if you guys have talked about it before, but looking at average yards per play from last season, actually, all 4 of the NFC North teams were in the bottom 5 in terms of yards per play allowed. The Lions were the worst, and then the Bears followed by them. Then it was the Chargers, then the Vikings, and the Packers. So in other words, the Vikings were ranked 29th in yards per play in defense last year. So write that down. My first one is that Jordan Addison will not record a catch in at least 6 games this regular season.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, mind you, that also kind of covers me for games that he might not, be able to play in.
Yeah. Could be injuries or whatever. Yep. All right, Judd, what's your first prediction?
Well, the parlay though with that is that the Vikings will be top 20 defense this coming season in yards per play. In the yards per play metric, they will be a top 20 defense, going from 29th to at least top 20.
A little parlay action. All right, Judd, what's your first prediction?
Okay, my first prediction is something I'm guessing was talked about on Flagrant Howls, but we have not talked about it yet. The Timberwolves right now only scheduled for 5 national TV games, ESPN, TNT. So I'm not counting NBA TV's 5 does not count in my opinion. Okay, so I'm talking ESPN, TNT. The Timberwolves will end the regular season with no fewer than 10 games that are telecast on TNT, ESPN.
Ooh,
so they'll be flexed in at least 5 more times.
Wow.
With Ant, I think that there's going to be enough of a thirst to see him, especially. So it's 5 right now. It'll be at least 10, if not more.
Wow, I like it. Yeah, we did. I mean, people are all like up in arms over that, and I told Kyle on Flagrant Howls, I said, if they deserve to be on national TV, they will find their way to national TV.
Absolutely.
We need the Timberwolves. It's been 20 years of irrelevancy, basically. Like they don't deserve anything. They should go win 50 games, go earn your way on national TV. So, all right, Dex, what's your first prediction?
All right, first one for me. I gave Judd a batting order for game 1 of the playoffs yesterday on the Twin Show from righties and lefties facing a right-handed or left-handed starter. So write this down. I want this on the record in no specific order necessarily. Edward Julian, Royce Lewis, Max Kepler will be the first 3 hitters in a Twins playoff lineup against a right-handed starting pitcher.
Okay.
So very specific, but in no specific order. But Edward Julian, Royce Lewis, Max Kepler will be the first 3 hitters in a Twins playoff starting lineup for this season, by the way. I don't want this lingering into 2024 against
so
a right-handed starting pitcher.
If they miss the playoffs, we aren't letting it ride for next
year.
Or
if they only face 2 lefty starters like back-to-back times.
Okay.
That's on the board too. But yeah.
Okay. I'll make a Twins prediction for the playoffs too. Write this down. He's been scuffling. He's trying to salvage the worst season of his career, making $36 million. Carlos Correa. Write this down. Carlos Correa will hit a home run in the first playoff game for the Twins. Playoff Carlos. October Carlos will show up just in time. He'll hit a bomb.
God, I hope so.
I'm assuming that's a home run for me if he hits a home run in the first playoff game, right? Okay.
Yes.
Some game 1 heroics. All right, back to Nate for your second prediction.
Sure. So my Minnesota sports kryptonite is Gophers football. I just can't quit them. I just am eternally optimistic about them. Did hear you guys talk about how flex teams at Minnesota have never ranked in the top 100 in pass attempts. Even flex 2016 season at Western Michigan, where they went 13-1, they were still, I think, ranked 103rd in the nation in pass attempts. So even the 2019 season, where Tanner Morgan was on fire and they had Tyler Johnson and Rashad Bateman, they still finished, I believe, 111th. But Tanner Morgan did finish with 30 touchdowns that year. So in the spirit of my eternal optimism here, so write this down. Ethan Kaliakmanis will throw for at least 20 touchdowns this coming season, including any postseason bowl games or whatever.
That would be big. That would be big for a Gophers quarterback. I like it.
It hasn't happened. I don't think it's happened. Yeah, it happened when Tanner Morgan did it in 2019, and before that, I think maybe you probably have to go back to Adam Weber.
Probably, yeah, Weber. Like with I know that first year where they lost a bunch of games, Weber threw a bunch of touchdowns. Joe, what's your second prediction?
My second prediction is this: Edward Julian, who got a cup of coffee last night at first base, between now and next week's, write that down, will start a game at first base.
Yeah, okay.
They are bound and determined to create more position flexibility. Julian will start a game at first base by next week's, write that down.
I thought you were going to go a little further and say he'll like drop a pop-up in game 1 as a first baseman because he's ill-equipped to be.
Somebody tweeted the Polanco screw up in, I think it was game 1 against the Astros, and I was watching that again and reliving that nightmare play.
Declan's head's about to explode here. Just like watching Declan watch a Twins playoff game is something that everyone should get to experience.
How about Buxton being picked off first base in game 2, pinch running, clearly concussed?
Yeah, I was sitting next to Phil for that game, and Phil will probably never voluntarily watch another Twins playoff game with me again, which I don't blame him for. I don't blame anyone for not wanting to watch Twins playoff game with me. I'm terrible, horrible person. Write this down. I have another Twins prediction here too. Trevor Larnach will be recalled by the Twins within the next 2 weeks. So between now and September 6th, Trevor Larnach will make his way back to the Twins. Write it down. He's heating up now at AAA. DFA Joey Gallo, and please just recall Trevor
Well, the rosters expand.
Yeah, that's the rosters expand in a week, so this is a layup.
It's also true. But yeah, he'll be back with the Twins finally.
Okay. Definitely a layup, right? Judd, you're tilting your head.
I don't have much to say about this prediction.
This is a very, very. I mean, the only way that this is interesting
like
is if the write that down karma gods decide to strike here and make.
I feel like what Declan did is legal, but not really ethical. But there's nothing I can do about it. He's like a slimy attorney.
I mean, it only goes up to 28 players. You get 2 extra guys. It's not like they're going up to 40 like it is back in the day.
Yeah,
well, who are the other guys that they would?
Louis Varland could be called up.
Okay.
Brooks Lee could be called up. Guys could be called up.
That's what I said. It feels legal, but it's pushing the ethics committee would look at this and clear you. But your name would be just sort of taken down a notch.
Yeah, well, I think this is Judd's fault because you're the one that has slipped 100 points in batting average. Declan now senses the lead, so he's just looking for bunt singles. So
How's it my fault, Mr.
I blame you for enabling Declan in this.
Hey, Mendoza, how's it my fault? The Mendoza line. You're at the Mendoza line, not me.
Well, I'm gonna try and rise above it further by predicting. Write this down. My guy Dylan Floro. Okay. Listen, it was tough out there yesterday. Weather-wise, just a lot of tough conditions out there. Was the roof closed?
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan Floro will bounce back with at least 3 consecutive scoreless appearances. Okay? His next 3 appearances, he will not allow a run. He will not be credited with a run on his box score. Write it down. All right, back to Nate for your third and final prediction.
Yeah, I do like yours. I'm actually pretty high on Dylan Floro, despite what happened last night. He just kind of got death by 1,000 paper cuts last night, but I think he'll be all right. He's got good experience. So for my third pick, I thought about going with the Twins prediction as well. They probably rank as my favorite Minnesota franchise. Maybe not necessarily this team, but although I do really like the young guys, but they're just so hard to predict. I don't really know what to expect for them, so I didn't really have anything. You could tell me anything in the future that would happen, and I'd believe it. I'm not sure what direction they're gonna go. So instead, I'll go with something I do feel more strongly about. A lot of people have said that the Wolves are just simply running it back this coming season, but Cat only played 29 games last season, so I do think that this will be a different team. I do think that they'll be a better team as well. So write that down. The Timberwolves will finish as a top 6 team in the West this coming season. So so I'm predicting no play-in game, and of course not missing the playoffs completely, but they will be a top 6 team in the West this year.
All right. So great work here. Great research, Nate. Since you've got this life-changing platform on this podcast right now, is there anyone you'd like to thank that helped bring you to this pinnacle moment?
Well, man, I got to thank you guys. Like I said, you guys, I've listened to you guys. Not living in Minnesota, you're kind of my source for all of Minnesota sports news. Even in because I listen to you guys all the time. Even when I got married in 2018, my wife put in her wedding vows, literally in her wedding vows, is that I promised you I will always let you listen to the Mackie and Judd show when you're taking road trips. So you guys were literally mentioned. You guys were literally mentioned in my wife's wedding vows. I had no idea that was coming. I didn't know what she was going to say up there at the altar. So she put that in her wedding vows. That just shows you, how much I listen to you guys. She knows how big of a part of my life that you guys have been with all my resources and probably all my annoying tweets that you've gotten from me over the years with me bantering with you or agreeing with you on certain sports topics. Yeah, exactly.
It's the threats I don't like.
Well,
but they don't come from you.
So thank you to you guys, and again, and thank you to my wife for letting me indulging me on all the road trips and listening to your podcast. She definitely enjoys it, the mix of sports and other just random things that you guys end up talking about that make us all laugh. So
awesome.
Thank you guys.
Well, Nate, thank you for the love. We appreciate it, and thanks to your wife as well. And we'll see Nate again sometime. It's great stuff, man. Wow, in the vows.
I'd like to hear it. I'd love to get a tape of that now, or a recording of it on YouTube if it's uploaded or something like that.
You know what the next step is for someone, instead of doing like the I do's, to turn those into write that downs. Like, write this down. I will, whatever.
Actually, you know what the next step is? A kid named
Judd.
Mackie Judd Mackey, Judd, and then the last name. That's the next step.
Yeah. I see. I think Judd as the first name. You
Judd
can maybe
would be
use
the
like
first.
Judd, Mackey.
Well, I'm just saying
Phillip
to
Judd.
combine our show, to combine our names.
Judd, PJ.
Judd.
Yeah. Everyone applaud. Here he comes. Here comes the baby. All right.
Hey, before we get to your final prediction, okay, let's give some love to a couple of our great advertisers here, starting with Summit Orthopedics. Right? Whatever is bothering you physically, maybe it's ankle pain, maybe it's neck or back. Summit Orthopedics has 25 locations around the Twin Cities and greater Minnesota area. No referrals are needed. They offer same-day appointments. They also have walk-in orthopedic urgent care 7 days a week starting at 8 a.m. You can learn more at summitortho.com. That's summitortho.com. Also, a shout-out to our friends over at EcoFun. They have all sorts of amazing fun toys, whether it's ATVs, scooters, dirt bikes, electric bikes. 2 locations in the Twin Cities, Burnsville in the South Metro area off 35W and County Road 42, and Forest Lake off I-35. Stop in. You can check out their amazing showroom, and maybe you can even like get a gift for like a youth ATV, be Parent of the Year or something. You can also snoop around at ecofunmotorsports.com to check out what they've got in stock. So, all right, final lap around the room here. Judd.
Royce Lewis will hit a home run, at least one home run for the Twins in the playoffs. Royce Lewis will hit at least one home run. I don't want to say first round. I am assuming they're not going to get past the first round, but I'll just leave it open-ended a little bit. He'll hit at least a home run for the Twins in the playoffs this season.
Okay. Is that a home run, Dex?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're calling your shot now. I think that also helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Declan.
Write this down. I'm gonna make a AEW. Got All In this weekend. Got a big pay-per-view at Wembley Stadium. And write this down. I'm gonna get the DMD back on the board here. Britt Baker wins the AEW Women's Championship at All In this weekend. Write it down.
Okay. Judd, what do you think's going to happen at All In? What are you most looking forward to?
Let's see here. I did not realize it's in jolly old England, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually the biggest in terms of tickets sold wrestling show in the history of wrestling.
I think what we're going to see is a shocking reunion of Oasis. That's what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be, I think the Gallagher brothers are going to reunite. That's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction.
Okay. Maybe John Lennon comes back. Maybe like, oh my God.
He could in a hologram now. Are you kidding? With
AI,
what they can do
AI
now?
can bring him back.
AI? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
All right. What are we on? Are we on Declan right now? I don't know.
Just went. It's you.
Okay, so it's up to me to do the last one.
That's
Sorry, I just got a text. Kyle Tigey threw me off here. He just texted a screenshot of Flagrant Howls now as a top 40 basketball podcast according to Apple on the charts. Thanks to Anthony Edwards and his exciting performance against Germany.
Yeah, this is great. This is awesome 10.
I think this is the highest that Flagrant Howls has ever ranked. So thank you guys for making Flagrant Howls a top 40 basketball podcast. And with that, I will make a Timberwolves prediction. Okay. You guys see, I know Karl Anthony Towns got tossed from a game a couple days ago, so he's got to control his temper. But he's been chucking threes. Like he's just pulling up from like 2 steps inside the half court line for the Dominican Republic. He is here to shoot threes and chew bubble gum, and he's all out of bubble gum. So write this down. Just for some context, Karl had, in the 29 games he played last year, he attempted double-digit threes twice. So twice out of 29. I'm going to say he comes out chucking to start the season. Cat will attempt at least 10 threes in one of the first 3 games for the Timberwolves.
Okay.
I want this to be a home run. So I think he's going to have a chucker game of some kind in the first 3 games for the Timberwolves. His first 3 games, I will say, so that I don't get dinged if like he gets injured or something.
Okay.
He's just going to be a flamethrower. I think he feels snubbed. He's got rabbit ears, right? He hears and reads things. The fact that The Athletic had him outside the top 50 and didn't put him in the elite shooters category, I think he's going to come out and try to prove something in the first few weeks. We'll see how that goes for him.
Just don't get texts. Just
Can't guarantee that.
calm down. Don't get technical fouls. Don't get tossed out of games unnecessarily. So all your defenders have to say, well, it's bad refereeing. What are you talking about? It's like, this guy gets way too many texts for always to be bad refereeing.
So there you go. Those are your predictions here on Mackie and Judd. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Tomorrow, a scoop session with Doogie. We've got a live Purple Daily stream on probably both days, both Wednesday and tomorrow, for the joint practice against the Cardinals on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.